Now, to men of a certain age, that is a very, very appealing sound. The sound of a two-stroke twin running sweetly. And well, the only thing I can't bring you, of course, is the smell. The smell is something else. A smell that takes you straight back to the hedonistic days of the 70s. Well, by way of a little update from the other night, you may see that the airbox is missing. That's because I've been tinkering around with these little carburetors here and finding out that the reason it wasn't running on this left-hand cylinder was simply because the carburetor slide was completely closing with the throttle shut. So I've managed to find out where you adjust that, which is in fact under this little rubber boot here, instead of being down here as it more normally is. So I've adjusted the throttle stop there and got it running now reasonably evenly on both cylinders. It's always a little bit vague with cables and things, but got it running pretty well on both cylinders, as you heard. It does tend to hang a little bit when you blip the throttle. It doesn't return to idle as quickly as it should. I think that may be down to throttle cable being a little bit tight. Sometimes it's just down to the way the throttle cable is routed through here from the handlebar through under the tank. Have a look at that, make sure it's well oiled. That's a little thing, but I'm pleased that I've got it running now on both the cylinders correctly. Electrically, I still have the problem of the battery is not charging. It wasn't completely discharged the other night, as I said. That was just because I hadn't connected up the positive. But when I start the engine now, the battery voltage is running at about 11.2, 11.3, so it's not charging. There's a problem somewhere, which I've got to find. What I have found so far, when I've gone under here to have a look at the battery and the electrics, is that the Phantom Splicer has been at work. Maybe the Pied Splicer of Hamlin has been at work in the electrics here. I found a number of cables like this one have been cut and spliced for reasons unknown, and I've started to make my way through the cables now, gradually replacing those spliced cables with new sections of cable properly jointed, soldered and jointed correctly, so that you don't have any of those weaknesses in the electrical system. And gradually I can eliminate those as potential faults and get into where I think the fault may lie, possibly in the regulator back here. I did find a melted insulation. You can see where I've temporarily just taped up that. The insulation on that earth lead was melted, so that is suspicious. Otherwise, I've just got to check the circuit coming back through from the generator, which is under here, along this loom here. Just checking all those wires for continuity, and then if I can't find a continuity fault, then we're into possibly a fault in the windings down here or in the regulator. But I don't want to start replacing parts until I've eliminated simple wiring problems. So there you are. I've got to get this airbox back in eventually, but I might leave it out for the moment because it's easier to get at all this with the airbox removed. But that's the little update for now, so I'll leave you just once more with that glorious sound.